Hi everyone! For this video, we're going to be going over Carl's Garden Problem Task 2. So you're going to need that story. Remember the story that had the plants on the front of it, Carl's Garden Problem, and you're also going to need the Task 2 directions and questions. The sheet just looks like this. It has problem 5, 6, 7, 8. And at the top right, it says Carl's Garden Problem Reader's Response. And going to need a pencil so we can write our answers with it. Now I do have our story here that we can go back in. Now I'm not going to read it since I already reread it. I already reread it in Task 1 video, so you can go back and watch that one. Or you can scan the QR codes that came in there so you can listen to the story as well. But it is on here so we can always go back and look for our answers, which is really important. So let's look at that first question. Let's read the directions first. You have already answered questions 1 through 4 in the questions sheet. Answer the questions below. Go back to the text to find the answers. So remember, we're going to go look back in the text and remember to answer in complete sentences and restate the question. So we got to remember to restate the question, write in complete sentences. When we write in complete sentences, we need our capital or period and spaces in between those words. So first, our number 5 says, what was Carl's garden problem? So let's get back in the story and figure out what his problem was. Now we know that he wanted to grow a garden and he was planting some flower seeds, some vegetable plants. And what ended up happening next? It says, my vegetables keep what? You guys are right. Carl's problem is that his vegetables keep falling over. So I'm going to have, if you have your pencil, you can underline. There's a way. Right? So I'm going to underline where I found the answer so we know that says Carl's problem is my vegetables keep falling over. So again, it says what it was Carl's garden problem. So we need to restate our question, which is Carl's garden problem is his vegetables keep falling over. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you guys to see. A little smaller so it's above the line at least. Okay, if you need a little bit more time writing your answer down, just pause the video, finish your question, and then you can replay it for the next. But we're going to go on. Number 6, what did you learn from Carl's garden problem? So it's something that you've learned. So again, we need to restate our question. So I learned from Carl's garden problem that, and this is a good chance for you guys to write down something you learned. So this question isn't in like a right there question. It's something you need to think about. So I want you to think about when you're writing something you've learned from it. It could be something about the fruit or the vegetable plants, maybe something about them falling them over, maybe how you kind of fixed that problem with the stakes, something that you've learned from it. And again, if you need more time, always feel free to pause the video, finish your question and your answer, and then move on to the next one. All right, number 7 says, explain how Carl solves his garden problem. Be sure to explain what Carl's problem was. Well, we already know that first part, right? We already know what Carl's problem was. So Carl's problem was his vegetables keep falling over. And again, we need to keep on restating. He solves his garden problem by. So let's go back in the story and see if we can kind of find how he solved that problem. Right, so let's kind of reread. So we know his keeps falling over. So let's reread how he fixed it. Mr. Brown went to his shed. He came back with long, thin sticks. These are tomato stakes. They will hold the plants up, said Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown put the stakes in the ground. Now the plants will grow tall, said Carl. So what did Mr. Brown do? You're right. He got these thin kind of tomato stakes, right? And he kind of put the stakes in the ground for the plants to be held held up. So again, let's get our scribble out. So, right, we know that he came back with these long, thin sticks. They're tomato stakes that will hold the plant up. Okay, so let's kind of remember that as we are reading. All right, so he solves his garden problem by placing it's autocorrecting me, but remember we only have capitals in the beginning of sentences. He solves his garden problem by placing tall tomato stakes in the ground that Mr. Brown gave him to keep his vegetables standing tall. Good job. Okay. So again, pause the video if you need more time writing, but at least we're able to go back in the story and look for these answers on this one. And number 8, you guys can do on your own. It says on the back of this paper, draw a picture of Carl planting the vegetables Mr. Brown gave Carl. Okay, so on the back of the paper, draw a picture. And if you guys want to, just take a picture of the video, take a picture of your work and send it to your teachers. I'm sure they'll love a picture of your drawing. All right, you guys have a good day. Bye.